Welcome to the commencement exercise of 2022 in this, our 17th year as College of Education at California State University, Fullerton. I am Dr. Natalie Tran, Department Chair of Secondary Education and Director of the EDD program, and it is my honor to be this year's Distinguished Faculty Marshal. Please stand for the presentation of our national anthem, in which will be performed by A.J. Stevens. Mr. Stevens is receiving the single subject credential in music.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. It is now my privilege to introduce you to the Platform Party. Platform Party, please stand and remain standing when I call your name. We will applaud them all at the end of the introductions. Dr. Carolyn Thomas, Provost and Vice President of Academic Affairs. Dr. David Forges, Vice President of Human Resources, Diversity and Inclusion. Dr. Lisa Kurtman, Dean of the College of Education. Dr. Kim Case, Associate Dean of the College of Education. Dr. Eugene Fujimoto, Chair, Department of Educational Leadership. Dr. Melinda Pearson, Chair, Department of Special Education. Dr. Rosario Adonis Hassis, Chair, Department of Literacy and Reading Education, and the 2020-21 Distinguished Faculty Marshal. Dr. Amy Cox Peterson, Chair, Department of Elementary and Bilingual Education. I now invite Dean Kurtman to the podium.
welcome College of Education credential candidates and graduates of 2022, families, friends, faculty, and distinguished guests. We gather to honor the accomplishments of our Doctor of Education and Master's degree recipients and our credential candidates to recognize the completion of their program of study and to celebrate their academic achievements. Graduates and candidates, on behalf of the Platform Party and the College of Education, we offer you our congratulations. Family and friends who are here today have contributed to the success of these students through their support, encouragement, patience, and understanding. So family and friends, we salute all of you. We know that these graduates could not have done it without your support. Please stand and accept our thanks. Go ahead, stand up, all of our family and friends in the audience. Thank you. The College of Education is fortunate to have dedicated faculty in every department. I would like to thank and recognize our faculty who have played a significant role in helping our students reach their goals. On behalf of the Platform Party, we recognize the faculty who have instructed, guided, and mentored our students in helping them achieve their goals. Faculty, please stand and receive your well-deserved recognition. As you are well aware, these last few years have been difficult for so many of us in ways we could have never imagined. Many of us lost loved ones much too soon, and while they cannot be with us to celebrate today, they are always in our thoughts, and I know they would be proud of our students. No one would be more proud of her students than Laurie Dickey. Laurie was a faculty member in the Department of Elementary and Bilingual Education, who sadly passed away during this academic year. She was the brightest example of how our faculty nurture their students so that they can watch them blossom into the best versions of themselves. Laurie loved her students and they loved her. The Laurie Dickey Future Teacher Scholarship has been developed in her honor and to honor her legacy and passion for teaching. Please join me in a moment of silence as we honor Laurie Dickey and all of those that we have lost this year. Thank you. Commencement is also a time that we recognize our outstanding faculty. To help recognize one of our outstanding faculty members, I would like to call Dr. Rosario Ordonez-Hasis to the podium. Dr. Ordonez-Hasis was the 2020-2021 Distinguished Faculty Marshal, and she will now recognize her successor for 2022.
Every year at commencement, the faculty procession is led by a distinguished faculty member. This individual is selected by their peers on the basis of excellence in teaching, scholarly work, and service. The Distinguished Faculty Marshal carries the college mace, which symbolizes the authority of the faculty in academic matters and the practice of shared governance within the university. It is a permanent part of the annual commencement ceremony for the College of Education. At this year's College of Education commencement, we are proud to recognize my friend and colleague, Dr. Natalie Tran, as our Distinguished Faculty Marshal. I would like to share with you some of Dr. Tran's accomplishments at her years at Cal State Fullerton. Over the last 15 years, Dr. Tran has earned several awards that focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion. Her colleagues have shared that Dr. Tran not only transforms the settings in which she works, but inspires the people with whom she works. She has a rare quality of being able to not simply call attention to issues of equity or exclusion, but rather to build collective support to reimagine and create new realities. One of the best examples of this is the National Resource Center for Asian Languages, which Dr. Tran founded with U.S. Department of Education funding to advance K-12 teaching and learning of Asian languages. Among the most transformative of center activities has been Dr. Tran's partnership with Westminster School District to create the first Vietnamese English dual immersion program in California. Yes. But also, when it was clear that there were lack of children's literature in Vietnamese, Dr. Tran commissioned a story writing contest among the Vietnamese-speaking community and employed CSU Fullerton arts majors to illustrate the winning selections. She has in effect created an entirely new body of children's literature in Vietnamese. Due to Dr. Tran's leadership, the dual language program has taken root and has been replicated at sites within California, Texas, and Massachusetts. Please join me in congratulating Dr. Tran.
Good afternoon. Xin kính chào quý vị. Buenas tardes. Đại gia hảo. It is an honor to be recognized as the 2022 College of Education Distinguished Faculty Marshal. Congratulations to all on this milestone accomplishment. Thank you to the families, friends, and supporters of our graduates and credential completers. Thank you to all the wonderful leadership team, faculty, and staff at Cal State Fullerton and the College of Education for all that you have done for our students to make today possible. To help us be in the present moment, I would like to invite all of us to take a deep breath. Let's begin with an inhale and an exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Take a look around. We are surrounded by family, friends, loved ones, and colleagues who have traveled with us on this journey and who will continue to support us and to nurture us in many years to come. As you already know, the pandemic has disproportionately impacted many communities, particularly communities of color, with higher infection rates, mortality rates, higher unemployment rates among members of the Black communities, Latinx communities, and indigenous communities. Racist physical and verbal attacks on Asian and Pacific Islander communities have caused trauma which can have a devastating psychological long-term impact. More than ever, we need strong teachers and leaders. Graduates, as you work with students and families, I urge you to look deeply into the sufferings caused by racial and social systemic inequalities. This is a shared responsibility. It's important that we commit ourselves individually and as a collective to understand the roots of these inequalities and to transform the suffering caused by these inequalities into compassion, understanding, and love in action. In order to do this, we must look deeply into our beliefs, our practices, biases, as well as the privileges in the various spaces that we occupy and influence, from our classroom, neighborhood, to the broader community. A personal critique that I have is that we tend to spend more time dissecting and understanding the inequalities and less time on how to transform these inequalities into compassion, understanding, and love. A teacher of mine, the late Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh, taught us the importance of non-duality. And as long as we hold on to the perception of duality, transformation is not possible. In his conversation with Bell Hooks, an intellectual and activist, about the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Thich Nhat Hanh shared, "When we have anger in us, we suffer. When we have discrimination in us, we suffer. When we have the complex of superiority, we suffer. When we have the complex of inferiority, we suffer also." It is only when we are able to transform these dualities in us that we are truly free and happiness is possible. And I think this is possible through understanding, compassion, and great insights. The good news is, as educators, graduates, you are already doing that. To educate is to listen, to understand, to cultivate compassion, to love, and to transform. Nothing more and nothing less. Notice I didn't say that it was easy. The fundamental work of an educator is to develop the courage, the strength, and the wisdom to love. Love those who have caused us suffering. Love those who instill fear in us. Love those who fear us. Love those who we discriminate. Love those who discriminate us. Graduates, I hope that you will rise to the challenge to cultivate love and be the teachers and leaders that will serve all students. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Tran. It is now my pleasure to invite our student speaker, Brandy Garcia, to the podium. Ms. Garcia is receiving a Master's of Science in Educational Technology. She will offer her thoughts and reflections on the theme, What It Means to Be a Just, Equitable, and Inclusive Educator.
Learning with my students, for all of my students. Those were the words that I lived by as I read chapter after chapter, studied countless hours, and more importantly, practiced what I was learning on a daily basis for all of my students. The one word in that phrase that both encourages me and scares me is the word all. On the one hand, I'm glad that I'm able to celebrate the diversity of my students and what they bring to our community, the commonalities and differences in the way we think, speak, and learn, and the joy it brings to each student to be able to express themselves and their individual perspective. On the other hand comes the monumental task of creating and teaching a lesson plan that meets the needs of Richie, who came from Mexico 2 years ago, or Janae, who struggles to see her worth because of the color of her skin, and Matthew, who has ADHD. How do you help each of these students fully understand how to change a fraction 2/5 to 40%? Although this task is ever-changing and monumental, the value that it has for both students and teachers is even greater. I'm a math teacher, so I think about the 1,800 minutes a week, 7,200 minutes a month, or 576,000 minutes a year is the time we have with our students. That is the time that we can build up our students to help them see their value in who they are. That is the time that we can implement lessons that both promote student growth intellectually and celebrate diversity. That is the time that the word all should not be feared, but be fully embraced. To be just, equitable, and inclusive educators means that we go beyond celebrating Martin Luther King Jr. Day, that we go beyond simply making small groups with our special education students, that we go beyond connecting with our second language learners case leader. In fact, that is solely the beginning. In being just, equitable, and inclusive educators, we make a promise to honor our students' cultures and identities, that we promote and try new teaching practices that encourage leveled thinking that is offered to all students, and that we use our students' cultures, disabilities, and divergent thinking and their identity as a fuel for our passion, because without passion, we, as teachers, are nothing. I encourage you, the class of 2022, to be inspired by the opportunity to teach all students, to find joy in this tremendous task as we continue to shape the future of education, a future that will be just, equitable, and inclusive. May we continue to honor, encourage, and support all of our students, for they are our future and our legacy. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Garcia. Can we give her another round of applause, please? We will now recognize our CAR Fellow recipients for 2022. This award is named for Professor Emeritus Edwin Carr, who was appointed Professor of Education and Economics in 1960. This award was established in his name and honors selected students who are graduating with a master's degree. These individuals are chosen for their accomplishments to date and for their potential to make outstanding contributions to the profession. Will the 2022 CAR Fellows please stand and let us honor your achievements? Thank you. Another important group of high-achieving students are our 2022 Outstanding Graduates. These students achieved academic excellence through their coursework, earning a 4.0 GPA, and were identified by faculty members as students who demonstrated abilities above and beyond the professional dispositions expected of the candidates. These outstanding graduates are wearing gold cords as a symbol of their accomplishments. Will the 2022 Outstanding Graduates please stand and let us honor your achievements? Thank you. It is now my honor to invite Dr. Carolyn Thomas, Provost and Vice President of Academic Affairs, to the podium to provide our commencement address.
Hola y bienvenido a todos. Congratulations, graduates, class of 2022. Credential completers, master's candidates, doctoral candidates, yours is an incredible achievement. The pandemic took so much away. Yet as the ground underneath you shifted, as uncertainty swirled, you leaned into the future, a future that starts today. You made a mental commitment to your credential program, your master's degree, or your doctorate. You dug into your studies, even when the future may have seemed far off. And for some, the map of that destination threatened to disappear. And here you are, surrounded by your families and loved ones, your faculty, your administrators, your staff. Education today looks very different than it did before that march. Our kids have laptops in their backpacks and a facility for using them in learning many of us would have thought impossible 3 years ago. Our courses have modalities. Our teaching in this environment is still finding its way, and many of our learners have been left behind. Thank goodness you are here. You lived education in multiple modalities. You saw classes and learning experiences online that did not work. You found things possible in the in-between, in your experiences as students, in group work, in student teaching, in your research pursuits, and you did this in a program in a college deeply committed to equitable, just, and inclusive education. You will have answers how to best facilitate student learning for the next generation, because not only have you lived it, you have studied it, you have felt it, and you have pushed into it and past it and emerged stronger for it. Thank goodness you are here. As your families know, you did this out of a commitment to changing society, to using your classrooms, your schools, your education communities, your companies as sites for just, equitable, and inclusive education. And what a moment for JEIE. One of my favorite visualizations for how the world changes comes from the following phrase: in the space between stimulus and response lies our greatest opportunity for individual and collective change. En el espacio entre estimulación y responder, puedes encontrar una oportunidad para cambiar tu propia persona y la colectiva. When, for instance, someone upsets me, my habit used to be to react, to say something back. It's how I was raised. It's probably how my parents were raised. If I was hurt, I wanted to hurt. If I was misunderstood, I wanted to correct the record. But I've tried to think about it instead as when there's a stimulus, when something happens and it wells up feelings here, make a space. Look at those emotions, pause. Now I've learned to see a space between my first reaction and my ultimate reaction, and that in that space there's a possibility for change, sometimes generational, in me, in my relationships, just by stepping into it. Here's another way to think about that value of that space, future leaders. Perhaps there was a stimulus that brought you here, graduates, something that clarified your purpose as an educator or moved you to take this to the next level. In this college, you found a space. Whether you came with social justice, anti-racism, and social change through education as your chief goal, or one among many, you found spaces, classrooms, friends, new communities that challenged you to deepen that commitment. You've reflected on inequities in your coursework and pedagogies for mitigating them. You've considered student development theory and conceptualized what you can do as educators, student affairs professionals, academic advisors, instructional designers to ensure that every student reaches their full potential. You've learned how to facilitate just education at all scales. And you've identified strategies for bringing culturally relevant approaches to the classroom and creating anti-racist spaces in your students' lives. Now it's time to put it into action. This society can't wait. Trust that space that your College of Education staff and faculty created for you. Lean into it and let it fuel your responses here forward. What you've learned in this college is not only necessary, it is revolutionary. We like to say once a Titan, always a Titan. As your degrees are conferred upon you at the end of this ceremony, understand that while this space of learning and contemplation may be closing, the doors to those responses fueled by this place in these moments are flying open. Move through those doors. React to your classrooms, your students, their parents, and your communities with intent, with great confidence in your education and your aims, holding fast to this college's courage and conviction that a just, equitable, and inclusive society is indeed possible for all. For that, it turns out, is not only your great opportunity for facilitating change, but ours as well. Congratulations, graduates. Go get them.
Thank you, Provost Thomas. Thank you, Provost Thomas. At this time, the college will recognize our graduates and credential completers individually. Doctoral candidates will be recognized first and will be hooded by their dissertation chair. Graduates from our master's programs will be hooded by faculty from their program. We now have the honor of recognizing the recipients of the Doctorate in Education in Educational Leadership. The doctoral graduates from our Community College Leadership Specialization and our Pre-K through 12 Leadership Specialization have completed a very rigorous program. Their efforts have prepared them to take leadership positions in their educational communities. The first doctoral graduates to come to the platform are from our Community College Specialization.
Joel Monroy.
Laquita Monique Jones.
Aaron Leon DeRosa.
Hong Guo.
Brandon D. Harris.
Natalia Dollar.
Connie Morales Gutierrez.
Lori L. Pullman. Adalberto Rodriguez. Andrea Gabriela Villegas.
Kawana Marie Miller Chapman. Cecil Punyi Chick.
Veronica Palafox. Alicia Rivera.
Our next group of doctoral graduates is from our pre-K through 12 leadership specialization.
Nguyen Huynh Chao Bui. Tiffany Fang.
Lori Ann Nash. Cheryl McCarthy Rodriguez. Tyler Joseph Sherman.
Sarah Harano.
Jose Mari Tolentino Mata. Whitney Pringer. Elizabeth Maldonado.
Elizabeth C. Chang. Sal Aquino.
Abby Gail Ronquillo. Lynette Martinez.
Sarah Fontanes.
Susan D. Jessup.
Mark Edward Warfuel, Jr.
Hiam Auni. Vilma Bermudez. Susanna Marie Bortz.
Ediberto Brian Olive. Rudolph Gary Torres.
We will now recognize the graduates of our master's degree programs. We will first recognize the students who have earned a Master's of Science in Education with a concentration in higher education.
Brandon Kelly Andrews.
Jake Northington.
Anissa Ivori.
Nunzenzili Aldanza.
Shaquille Manley.
Andrea de Alba Samaniego.
Alejandra Huerta.
Efren Diaz. Nelson Omar Contreras.
Portia J. Gibson.
Angel Salazar.
Cesar Cervantes Cantoran. Gabriel Anthony Amaya.
Alexis Ramirez Ruiz. Jose Antonio Rivera. Betsy Peña.
Cassandra Ceja.
Maria Luisa Rivera. Jasmine Nguyen. Cassandra Reyes.
Philip Sean Gilbert.
Itzel Marine.
Karina Estefania Callejas. Christopher Allen Bell.
Daniel Hayden.
Caitlin Chieko Matsuda.
Jeffrey Nicholas Costales. Hedrick Curlin Flores del Cid.
Connie Hay Sue O.
Albin Lee.
Isaura Amparo Peña.
Lorena Castellanos. Victor Antonio Ceballos Delgado. Andrea Frausto Zamora.
Melissa Newstein. Rika Cynthia Yano. Rihanna Lena Mendoza. Jimmy Nguyen.
Rosalba Bolwin.
Mason Romero.
We will now recognize the students who have earned a Master's of Science in Education with a concentration in Educational Administration.
Joanna Perez.
Brennan Dan. Danielle Julia Babka.
Heather Roney. Megan Michelle Parker. Charlie K. Sessions.
Julie Choi.
Rebecca Hom.
Kayla Ann Robert. William Renner.
We will now recognize the students who have earned a Master's of Science in Education with a concentration in Special Education.
Tanaz Ostadagahi.
Alexandra Janet Jeffcoat.
Karen Isabel Cruz. Jessica Chow.
Angelica Zambrano Guzman.
Brianna Rose Cardenas.
Andre Adam Leon.
Nicoleta Floare Cecina.
Anais Rossi. Diana Rejon.
Brianna Ray Garcia. Maribel Gaona. Yang In Jane Jung.
Allison Catherine Ferguson.
Victoria Garcia.
Amy Elizabeth Pendleton. Allison Lauren Stanley. Ashley Marie Petch.
Tatiana Lupu Cacacho.
Anna Ronte.
Candace Elizabeth Kurtz-Gogo. Carolina Yvonne Enriquez.
Christian Daniela Rodriguez. Deanna Ponce.
Dorothy Friedlander.
Holly Pizarro Camacho. Victoria Noemi Serrano.
Kyra Cloutier.
Emily Jacqueline Pacheco.
Giovanna Aguirre.
Deanna Lynn Santiana.
Nancy Badillo.
Irene Lee.
Diane Nguyen. Christy Lee Streisky. Lauren Sabella. Ashley Sue Moreno. Angel Manriquez. Gabriel Munoz.
Lorena Guillen Calderon Pina.
Alicia Vasquez.
Janet M. Demas.
Mark Anthony Vasquez.
We will now recognize the students who have earned a Master's of Science in Instructional Design and Technology.
Sarah Aziz Kurzi Bashir. Andrea Gabrielle Alvarado.
Jordan Murray.
Carly Victoria Gomez.
Janet Marie Baker.
Jeremy Natividad. Sarah Saucedo. Marciela Regina Saunders Bibbins.
Aaron Heasley.
Diane Cho.
Sarah Jessica Span.
Jacqueline Kim Liu. Kelly West Gillespie.
Rebecca Jean Edwards.
Adriana Viveros.
Martin Holt.
Laura Elizabeth Baker. Jessica Demizio Jarrett.
Brittany Rianne Murguia. Guy Nicholas Stoyle. Shofan Yang.
Adam Conaway. Rachel Allen Dillon.
Amanda Jill Taylor. Christina Riserbato. Darcy Rice.
Gloria Joy.
Hunter Lee Spitzer. Aurelio Puente. Aurora Starchild. Lauren Olivia Moreno.
Robin Kim.
We will now recognize the students who have earned a Master's of Science in Education with a concentration in literacy and reading education.
Mavis L. Gonzalez.
Julie June Taylor.
Stacy Cardena.
Diana Araji Morrissey.
Heidi Ruth Bivanetto.
Patricia Jean Duell.
Dulce Maria Ion.
Chelsea Jenna Riley. Colleen Leslie Markowitz. Kiana Lorraine Williams.
Brianna Christine Guzman.
Marlene Maritza Velasquez.
Brianna K. Guzman.
Marlene Maritza Velasquez. Maria Chantal Naharila.
Eileen Cindy Lee.
We will now recognize the students who have earned a Master's of Science in Education with a concentration in secondary education.
Peter Smiley.
Jesus Miguel Horta.
Jill Christensen.
Celeste Gonzalez. Luis Angel Iniguez. David Lopez.
Arnell Redoblado. Nicole Marie Nares. Alexa Rodriguez. Clark Kristen Marie McRae.
Jana Faith Chilton.
Selena Kafidi.
Cassandra Casas.
Carla Viviana Martinez.
Yung Lei.
We will now recognize the students who have earned a Master's of Science in Educational Technology.
Rachel Aaron Cronenfeld.
Christina Marie Morales Sanchez. Valerie Denise Macias. Claudia Marquez. Brenda Renee Perna. Destiny Ramos Rios.
Floribeth Consuelo Flores.
Christy Marie Garcia.
Daniel Christian Vasquez.
Carla de la Cruz.
Allison Page McDonald.
Sean Hiller.
Aurora Tanaka.
Johnny Huynh.
Christopher de la Cruz.
Sabrina Romero.
Kimberly Carlos.
Katie Shapley. Beth Priest Foster.
Lila Sidawi Clyde. Esperanza Lauda. Victoria Lynn Hawes. Cassandra Hensley.
Patricia Flores.
Deborah Ann Michelle Stanley.
Cesar Cuauhtémoc de la Cruz. Violeta Banuelos.
Caroline Canin.
Jose Daniel Nunez Garcia. Kathy Ji-un Peck. Teresa Zavaleta. Nadia Carmine Gomez Orozco. Mary Seidman.
Audrey Lopez Abrica.
Janet Resendiz.
Ariana Dominique Baldini.
Amber Brianne McGrath. Michaela Stephanie Estrada.
Diana Chalberg.
Kristen Webster Delgado.
Megan Chung.
Diana Garcia.
Lorena Ruiz. Daniel Zacarias. Susan Thomasoff.
Tara Irvine.
Katie Schooler. Eloana Rukert. Esmeralda Padilla.
Alicia Ann Guardamondo. Jennifer Jongsu Lee.
Dawn Perez.
Alicia Fortier.
Kari Sandberg. Carlos Santa Cruz. April Park.
Allison Marie Penley. Diana Campos.
Jennifer Maglio. Jean Palacios.
Rudith Stephanie Sandoval. Jenna Kimberly Schechner.
Tina Doe.
Danielle Sun. Mickey Okazaki. Megan Martin.
Rachel Humphrey. Brandy Elizabeth Garcia. Katrina Luistro.
Stacy Labanasi. Bonacci. We will now recognize the students who have earned a Master's of Science in Education with a concentration in elementary curriculum and instruction.
Danielle Marie Cruz.
Sean San Sandy Kung.
Lauren Audrey McCarthy.
Jocelyn Diaz.
Anissa Ashley Rivera. Troy Robert Yano. Shannon Widener.
We will now recognize the students who have earned a Master's of Science in Education with a concentration in elementary curriculum and instruction and a multiple subject credential.
Andrew De Guzman.
Jacqueline Ortiz.
Casey R. Bradshaw.
Casey Ann Peterson.
Crystal Walker. Jacqueline Saldana. Laura Stephanie Moreno.
Jesse Chan.
Lillian Rachel Jones. Catherine Lanto. Melody Jiaying Lee.
Samuel Jin Sung. Jennifer Kwok. Lilian Martinez. Anayeli Sotelo. Alicia Maria Ruiz.
Sydney Alvarez.
Jessica Jordan Tuma.
Bailey Olivia Knutson.
Jasmine Renee Rivera.
Emily Bodkin.
Amanda Exan Hoya.
Kai Michelle Mason.
Danica Mitchell.
Kira Elizabeth Cummings. Magdalena Castaneda.
Cheyenne Autumn Savella. Lindsay Smith. Lisette Rodriguez. Cynthia Sandoval. Kiana Mariano.
Madison Elizabeth Banker.
Christina Araceli Moreno. Vivian Ngoc Nguyen.
Jacqueline Gutierrez. Sarah Lacheski. Stephanie Beatriz Garcia.
Nancy España. Taylor Devitt.
Erin Rebecca Money. Casey Virgo.
We will now recognize the students who have earned a multiple subject credential.
Christine Yu. Kimberly Zavala. Alejandra Sanchez.
Alejandra Banuelos.
Laura Gonzalez. Alejandra Guerrero.
Coraima Flores. Marieli Acosta.
Adriana Vargas.
Yesenia Contreras Delgado.
Haley Pano.
Marina Cueva.
Dewey Joe.
Catherine Jordan.
Andres Rubio. Nicole Mendoza.
Michelle Loberia. Jessica Jimenez.
Jacqueline Bedoya.
Yasmin Salazar.
Alejandra Del Rio Barragan.
Lillian Robbins.
Kiana Fomai.
Emily Landis.
Molly Nobles.
Emily Ferbert.
Darian McManus.
Rebecca Chavez.
Madison Voss. Daisy Valdez. Madeline May Prince. Danielle Votendal. Sophia Silva. Alexis Padilla. Kimberly Thibodeau.
Shauna Chung.
Guadalupe Villaseñor. Christine Vo.
Daniela Camacho.
June Jung.
Jessica Ray Umali.
Sarah Brewer.
Jacqueline Moldovan.
Sophia Brown.
Maria Elena Mitchell.
Candice Sandoval. Erica Orozco. Alexandra Marie Tudor. Savannah Maskey.
Reem Farr.
Jordan Morales. John Marquez. Carolina Nieto. Tristiana Pham.
Madison Coleman.
Micah Munet.
Cassidy Huertas.
Ruby Olivares.
Genesis Jimenez Escobar.
Anthony Bauer.
Steven Sosa.
Eric Anderson.
Marissa Rose Tan.
Elizabeth Gallardo.
Jordan Dodge. Gloria Diaz.
Julia Palazzo.
Aubrey Genesis Lopez. Michelle Gonzalez. Amanda Finazzo.
Emily Blanc.
V. Nguyen. Sonia Ocampo. Marisol Membreno.
Christina Hernandez.
Michelle Pham.
We will now recognize the students who have earned a single subject credential.
Aaron Trong.
Anaí Lopez Peralta.
Madeline Torres Garcia.
Jose Alvarez Gil.
Elizabeth Luna. Crystal Garcia. Bettina Jolie.
Alberto Vasquez. Jocelyn Ruiz.
Jenny Acosta Flores.
Lauda Medina. Carissa Pickrell. Elizabeth Rodriguez.
Diana Herrera.
Jonathan Blake Davenport.
Cristina Bermudez.
Isabella Modafari.
Alexander Gelletley.
Cameron McKay.
Jaime Acevedo.
Vanessa Renteria. Rigoberto Orozco.
Lana Evans.
Zachary Grego. Colleen Logasa.
Yvette Kyla Perrian.
Cynthia Esparza. Jacqueline Figueroa.
Sarah Stuckey. Kimberly Young.
Joan Chavez.
Victoria Sandra Rose Lopez.
Daisy Salcedo Mondragon. Paula Ruelas. Marcus Reynoso.
Savannah Costello. Alexis De Pasqua. Molly Jane Avila. Cynthia Quatle. Luz Aurora Aguilera.
Byron Rivas.
Humberto Apante. Alexi Andrada.
Zachary Nettie.
Arlene Canis.
Salvador Magallon Monares. Terry Yoon. Alex Rollason.
Hector Elizalde. Karina Angel. Vanessa Crilly.
Brianna Lazalde.
Emily Payan. Jason Nguyen. Justin Moreno.
Eric Estrada.
Orlando Isais.
Janelle Brianne Wyant.
Chelsea Harrison.
Rebecca Mena.
Lacey Latham Bowie. Karen Garcia.
Alyssa Morales. Brianna Atalie Sanchez.
We will now recognize the students who have earned an Education Specialist credential.
Sarah Loren Lenz. Julie Lappick.
Rosa Estrada.
Diane Murtha. Maritza Peñalosa Renteria. Maria Ruiz.
Farduza Ismail. Jill Leach. Hannah Jane Keller. Hunter Gray.
Jeffrey Sixta. Michael Velasquez.
Adriana Elizabeth Ariola.
Frederick J. Salmon.
Jocelyn Galdames. Guillermina Gaitan.
Jessica Berlanga.
Tatiana Ramos. Carolina Cantoran.
Andrea Enriquez.
Danelle Chavez.
Brooke Sire.
Vanessa Castillo. Brittany Aguilera. Delana Cobb. Veronica Buenrostro.
Sorry. Kaylee McMahon.
Ashley Wood.
Maria Ione.
Vanessa Garcia.
We will now recognize the students who have earned a Bachelor's of Science in Child and Adolescent Studies and an Education Specialist credential.
Evelyn Duenas. Erica Noemi Calderon. Diana Elizabeth Cabrera Rodriguez.
Kimberly Ochoa.
Chloe Corral. Savannah Rose Franco.
Grace Elizabeth Harm.
I now invite Provost Thomas back to the podium.
Will the doctoral and master's degree graduates and credential completers of the College of Education class of 22 please rise? Whoop, 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 whoop. Stay up, stay up, stay up. By the authority, I have authority, by the authority vested in me by the state of California and the trustees of the California State University, I hereby confer upon you the degree for which you qualify with all rights, privileges, and honors pertaining here thereto. Valued family and friends, I present to you the graduates and credential completers of California State University Fullerton's class of 2022. Congratulations. I now invite Dean Kurtman back to the podium.
Okay, I promise we're almost finished. As we conclude our ceremony today, I would like to take a moment to thank the College of Education faculty, staff, and students for all you've done to make this ceremony possible. And one last time, I would like to congratulate our graduates and credential completers and wish you great success as you move on to the next journey. Students, please stand and remain standing for the recessional by the platform party. Ceremony ushers will dismiss all graduates after the recessional is complete. Congratulations again, and enjoy the rest of your evening.